Hello. I'm gonna show you a quick video of how to create beautiful fall colors. First thing that I'm gonna do, I'm going to warmify the image. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to create the second layer. I'm gonna drag the background layer into the little layer bracket and it will create a background copy. Then I'm gonna go click on filter. I'm gonna go into camera raw filter. And where it says temperature, I am going to warmify just a tiny bit to give it that nice warm feel to the skin tone. I'm going to press OK. Next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into adjustments and click on this curves tool, choose red, and I'm going to slide up the middle bar pretty high up. This looks good. And I'm going to reverse the image to its original. So right here, if it's white, I'm going to set the foreground to black. And I'm going to press Command I on my Mac, and it's Control I on Windows. Next step, I'm going to set the foreground color to white. I'm going to press X is a shortcut. Now that it's white, I'm going to click B for my brush tool. I'm going to make sure opacity is set at 100 and that the hardness is set at 0. I'm going to make the brush size smaller, and I'm going to start painting over some of these leaves, pretty much all of it. I can always paint out some of the parts if I believe that it's a little too much. Although in this case right now, I don't think that is the case. It looks nice and bright, just how I like it. You go very carefully. I'm gonna go around. It looks like I painted over him a little bit, so I'm gonna have to reduce that. Here we go. And it's pretty obvious that I painted over his face a bit, so I'm going to zoom in and fix it. I'm going to reverse the foreground color to black. I'm going to press X, and I'm going to press B for my brush tool. Make sure opacity is at 100. Soft brush. I'm going to make it really small, and I'm just going to brush all the redness out. Oops. You can press Command Z if you feel like you did a little too much. Here we go. Here I went over his hair a little bit too much. I'm gonna zoom out, and that looks right. I actually want to get rid of all the green areas, the green grass. I'm gonna do that by clicking on the layer, and then I'm gonna go click on the color swatch. I'm gonna click on this square right here to get my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on the one of the colors of the leaves right here, brown. So I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna go into this bracket, and I'm going to go all the way down and choose color. I'm gonna choose my brush tool again, opacity 100, soft brush, and I'm just gonna go and paint over the green areas right now. I believe that it's a bit strong. So what I'm going to do over here on the opacity, I'm going to change the opacity of the layer a little bit lower so it's not very bright, but just enough to cover the green. There we go. Let's see. Go over all the green areas over here. Here we go. And I'm going to go back to adjustments, click on the curves tool, choose red, and I'm going to raise the bar a little bit more again. I'm going to reverse the image to back, and this is in white. So I want to make sure this foreground is set to black. I'm going to press Command I, and that is going to change. And that's Control I if you're using Windows. And then I'm just going to paint in. First, I'm going to make sure to reverse the brush to white. So I'm going to press X. And with my brush, I'm just going to paint little patches here and there, not everywhere, like this. I feel that the whole image is a bit too red, too similar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the old curves tool, this one right here. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to press X to set the foreground to black. And I'm going to change opacity to about 28. And I'm going to slowly just kind of paint out of some of the areas to give it a little more depth and a little more realistic colors. So everything is not so bland and same color everywhere. There we go. Um, I feel that his face can use a little warming up. So what I'm going to do while I'm still in the same layer, now I'm going to reverse the color to white, the foreground color to white. I'm going to press X. The opacity, I'm going to change it to about 11. And I'm going to get the brush smaller and just paint over his face a little more brightness. Here we go, just kind of over his cheeks, and that looks really cute. Maybe brighten up his pants and brighten up his teddy a bit. Now what I want to do, I want to make him pop out a little more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into adjustments, choose curves tool again. Oops, so what it did is that it did it not what I wanted to do. So I wanted to change the entire picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move it all the way up here like this. So this is in, there we go. Perfect. So I'm going to click on this. Make sure you're on RGB and you just push the middle all the way down. This looks good. I'm going to click on the mask over here. Now because this is in white, I need to make sure that this foreground is set in black. I'm going to press X. And then I'm going to press Command I on my Mac. Command Control I on your PC. I mean on your Windows. And then I'm going to change the opacity to about 100. And I'm going to change the color back to set the foreground to white. So I'm going to press X again. And with a brush, I'm just kind of going to darken around him a little bit. And what it does is that it really helps the subject to pop out right here. And if you want to get even more creative, you can go into the layers, choose the layer, go into color, and choose about nice warm color, light, maybe like this. And then with a big soft brush, click right here. And then go into right here and press screen. Then you press V as in victory and click, and you kind of created a nice beautiful light. Looks like there's some light peeking through, and you can enlarge it and place it anywhere you want. This looks about right to me. And I'm gonna press OK. And this is the image.